All right, we are here with the head coach of the San Augustine Wolves, Tory Barnes. Coach, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about last season though for these Wolves. It was a great year for them. 10-4, made it to the regional finals. I know that was your fifth year. So those first 4 years, the team only had 9 total wins to get 10 wins last year. Talk to me about last season and what made that so special.
Last season we just had a really cohesive group of kids. My senior group was a very good group of leaders. And so they had really put in a lot of work and gone through some difficult years, helping this program get started and get back to where it needed to be. And so they were ready to win, and they came in every day and did the small things that it took to win, and the younger guys kind of followed their lead.
I know I was at one game last year. I think it was the third game against Carlisle. And that game, I believe y'all had 5 turnovers in that game, but it was still close and at the end still had a chance. And I think that was the game where I said this St. Augustine team can be really, really good if they eliminate the mistakes. Is that kind of what your message was to the team as well last season?
Well, so that Carlisle game came right after the Palestine Westwood game. And on the Palestine Westwood game, we came out of that game feeling like we could have won that ball game. We had a call that didn't go our way that game, had another turnover on the 1 yard line. And so we ended up losing by 2 touchdowns, and we probably very easily could have won that game. And so the confidence was really high coming out of the Westwood game. And I think we kind of drunk the Kool-Aid of what people were telling us how good we could be. And going into that Carlisle game, I think our kids kind of went in and overlooked them. And we're not mentally prepared. And I'll take some of the blame for that as their head coach. But I think that was a lesson learned from itself that you cannot overlook any opponent. And the simple fact for us to be able to continue to fight after 5 turnovers and still be in the game, I think our kids learned how to rally through adversity. And once you learn how to rally through adversity, I think you're headed in the right direction.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. After that game, I saw something that made this team special, even with the mistakes there. I want to talk to about going back to when you first came into San Augustine in 2021. What was that experience like coming in, being the head coach, and when you look back at it to that moment to where you are now, how much has changed in those 4 or 5 years?
So the message hadn't changed. I mean, the message has been the same the entire time. And I was already here. I was the offensive coordinator here the previous years before that, and the time that we were making run to the state semifinals. So it was just an adjustment, me going from offensive coordinator to being the head coach. And so just me instilling my program into and my thoughts and my philosophies into the kids, and it was a learning curve. It was a learning curve, and truthfully, we didn't have the talent that we had those previous years to make 3 back-to-back runs to the state semifinals. We had some kids, and so we kind of went through a lull of talent and had to fix some attitudes and some mindsets, and so Rome was not built in a day, and so it took a few years for us to clean some things up and get things the way we needed to get it.
Do you feel now that it's kind of back to the old San Augustine Wolves and getting back to that old school where, they were making those deep runs and were making those deep playoff runs? Do you feel like it's getting back to that now?
Oh, definitely. I think we've gotten back to that point. If you look at I think success breeds success, and our entire athletic program had success last year. I mean, we made it to the regional finals in football. We made it to the state finals in basketball with the boys, the state semifinals with the girls. Our track team, the girls, made it to the state track meeting. So we had success throughout our entire program, and I think that success breeds more success. I think we're looking forward to a really good year this year in football, and our eighth graders last year won district championship, so our JV will be really good this year, and so we're able to keep some really good sophomores now down on JV, and in a 2A, when you can start to keep sophomores down on JV because your varsity guys are made up of juniors and seniors, then you're headed in the right direction with your program.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to ask you about the community because you mentioned it. St. Augustine community is used to having successful football programs, successful football teams. I want to ask you about the community and what the support's been like for this team, even when it was down a little bit, but especially last season. What's the community support been like?
Last year the support was really good. Of course, the more you win, you get more people coming out jumping on the bandwagon. But the entire time we've had those faithful supporters. I mean, we've had people that were there when we were 0 and 10 and we were 1 and 9, and some of those same supporters are still there. And then of course you're gonna always have those people that only want to be there when it's going good. And so last year was fun. The more you win, of course, the community comes together, and winning really makes not only the community better, but the entire culture of your school becomes better also when you're winning. And so last year was an exciting year. I'm looking forward to build up on that this year. And I just think when you win, kids do better in the classroom. They behave better. The community feels better about themselves. And so winning goes a long ways in the community.
I agree. I agree. Let's talk about this upcoming year. You got five starters coming back on offense and eight starters coming back on defense. You got to me, what I think you got some key pieces coming back, right? You got your quarterback and running back, Michael Renfro and Jeremy Bluford, DeAdrian Renfro on the outside, and the linebacker trio, Key Watts, Jalen Jackson. You also got a huge offensive lineman that came in, Jamarius Canton, that came in as well. So when you look at kind of this team that you have coming back this year, what are your thoughts overall on the team?
Oh man, I think we have a good opportunity. We got a good opportunity to make a deep run, and of course, like I know, it comes down to if you can stay healthy. A few key injuries in 2A will change the season, and so of course, our defense I think will be ahead of our offense at this point, returning eight starters, and two of those linebackers were all-state linebackers last year, and so our defense should be able to hold us down until our offense can get where it needs to go. But yeah, we did gain a big asset in Jamarius Canton, four-star offensive tackle that's moved in, and so he'll be able to anchor our O-line. We'll have a big-time two-headed monster in the backfield with Michael Renfro and Jeremy Bluford, and then on the outside, the Adrian Renfro will cause trouble on the outside. So offense is not lacking many weapons at all. We'll be able to spread the ball around and get it to a lot of people, and I think we'll be able to cause some problems from defenses, knowing if they want to try to stop the run and keep the safeties over the top of our receivers.
I know that a lot of, especially at 2A schools, a lot of the kids come up through the program running the same offense and kind of learning the same offense. So how cool is it, especially being a former offensive coordinator, how cool is it to have the offensive weapons back that you have in another year in the system?
Oh, that's great. Because we got a 3 year starting quarterback at this point. This is Mac's third year starting, and so now you can start to add things, and now he's seeing things on the field the way you see them, and so now he's an extension of the coach on the field, and so that makes it so much easier for a head coach or offensive coordinator to be able to call plays because he's thinking the way you're thinking, and so it's the game is completely slowed down to him, and when you got a quarterback, especially when you're running the spread and the game is slowed down to him, and he's as athletic and as skilled as Max is, he can make your offense really go. And not only that, having Jeremy Bluford, who was a 1,500-yard rusher last year, and the Adrian Renfro, who's a man out there at receiver, those things are really good to have coming back in your offense.
Well, let's talk about this district because it's one of the toughest 2A districts in the state of Texas, in my opinion, with San Augustine, Garrison, Hemp Hill, Joaquin, Shelbyville, and Timpson. These past couple of years, it seems like it's been a different team winning the district, and it's just been an absolute battle every week. So, talk to me a little bit about this district.
I think this district has been named the SEC of 2A football. Um, because I mean, from top to bottom, it's a really good district. On any given night, you can get beat if you're not prepared. Garrison is going to be solid. They have state championship coach over there and Coach Winger that has come in and he'll have them going. Timpson, in my opinion, may have been one of the most talented teams last year, and they got left out of the playoffs. And so they're going to be tough. Shelbyville has a lot of kids coming back this year, and Coach Wallace does a really good job over there. Joaquin, of course, is Joaquin. They've been really solid the last few years, and Coach Jones has those guys playing really hard every week. And so I mean, we you got to be prepared to go and play because truth be told, there's going to be a good football team left at home again. That's just the reality of the situation. And then Coach Byerly at Hemphill, he's going to come in and try to get them going. Of course, I mean, they had a down season last year, so I mean they can't do anything but improve this year. And so you got to fight for your life. You got to fight for your playoff lives every night. You got to be prepared every week because, like I said, Timpson beat us last year and we won a district championship, and they were left at home. And so um, we know that going in that each game of district is important, and we'll be jockeying for position every night.
And you may have to see him again in the playoffs, right? And that was Joaquin last year. Y'all beat Joaquin in the regular season, then had to meet him again in the postseason and fell to him. So how difficult is it when you see another district opponent 3 or 4 rounds deep into the playoffs again? Is that a difficult matchup?
Oh man, so the problem is you really become familiar with your opponent. And I think we've become very familiar with our opponent, and playing them twice is not easy. It's not easy at all. And so you come in, and now when you're feeling like you have a possibility of meeting them deeper in the playoffs, when you face them the first time, you somewhat don't want to show everything that you have, for the simple fact that you know you may meet them later on in the playoffs. And truth be told, it's a high possibility for all four of our teams to meet up in the third round. I mean, or later on in the playoffs, because all four of our teams are capable of making it that deep. And so um, you just you want to hold things back, but at the same time, you got to get those wins. How you can get those wins? Because I mean, you end up 3-2 in district, and you may be left out.
Yeah, yeah, that's stuff. I didn't even think about that. If holding some stuff back because you're gonna have to see them later. But then you got to balance. You're still trying to win now too. I'm glad you got to do it, coach, and not me. I'm glad that falls on you. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time this morning, coach, and talking to us. And best of luck to you and the St. Augustine Wolves this year. I'm sure we'll see you out at the football field.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it, coach.